panel of 48 opinion makers and media observers have compiled a list of the Media Research Center's best notable quotables of 2009. Here's a sample of some of the most outrageous and humorous winners of this prestigious honor. The Coronation of the Messiah Award for Fawning inaugural coverage. Channeling his inner Dr. Dolittle, ABC's Bill Weir imagined even the local wildlife were impressed by Barack Obama becoming president.
Well, Charlie, we know that wind can make a cold day feel colder, but can national pride make a freezing day feel warmer? It seems to be the case, because regardless of the final crowd number estimates, never have so many people shivered so long with such joy.
From above, even the seagulls must have been awed by the blanket of humanity.
You know, Bill, I don't know if you were blinded by all those flashbulbs down there on the mall, but those weren't seagulls.
Of course, the last time the wildlife was this impressed was when they swore in James Buchanan, and we all know how that turned out.
Those were the vultures that normally fly around unsuspecting taxpayers inside the Beltway.
The Crush Rush Award for Loathing, Limbaugh. Actress and left-wing activist Janeane Garofalo played matchmaker as she described the type of women who like Rush Limbaugh.
Responded, but the type of female that does like Rush is the same type of woman that falls in love with prisoners. And you know what I mean? They like Richard Ramirez or Squeaky Fromme.
Yeah, Squeaky,
is a good example. I think Charles Manson's Ava Braun, Hitler's girlfriend. That is exactly the type of woman that responds really well to Rush. And there will be some Ava Braun, Squeaky Frommes out there that will respond really well to this cattle call right now.
So the co-star of Romy and Michelle's high school reunion is lecturing people about self-hating women.
What's got two thumbs, doesn't like Hitler, and loves Rush Limbaugh?
And the kind of men drawn to Janeane Garofalo are Keith Olbermann and Ed Schultz.
This conservative woman.
Perhaps the person who accepted roles in Half-Baked and The Cable Guy shouldn't be talking about, quote, responding to cattle calls.
This is an interesting line from someone whose typical role in movies is described as acerbic date from hell.
The Poison Teapot Award for smearing the anti-Obama rabble. CNN's Anderson Cooper hit below the belt as he discussed Tea Party protesters with political analyst David Gergen.
Well, Republicans are pretty much in disarray, talking about, but they have not yet come up with a compelling alternative, one that has gained popular recognition. So,
teabagging, they got teabagging.
Well, they got the teabagging, but Republicans have got away. They still haven't found their voice, Anderson. They're still, this happens to a minority party after it's lost a couple of bad elections, but they're searching for their voice.
It's hard to talk when you're teabagging.
I don't get it. What's so hard about talking and doing this at the same time? Anderson Cooper demands that CNN pay him entirely in dollar bills, like his night job.
During the summer of 2009, CNN was quite obsessed with teabagging.
CNN, the most trusted name in testicle jokes.
In fact, there was so much teabagging, you might have thought you were watching the Bravo network.
You know, for Anderson, that counts as show prep.
You know, there's a national competition for teabagging. It's called the Cooper Bowl.
Long Live Camelot Award for Lionizing Ted Kennedy. Writing on the Huffington Post, Discover Magazine deputy web editor Melissa Lassie brought out the Ouija board to channel Mary Jo Kopechne while memorializing the late Ted Kennedy.
Mary Jo wasn't a right-wing talking point or a negative campaign slogan. We don't know how much Kennedy was affected by her death, or what she'd have thought about arguably being a catalyst for the most successful Senate career in history. One wonders what Mary Jo Kopechne would have had to say about Ted's death, and what she'd have thought of the life and career that are being rightfully heralded. Who knows, maybe she'd feel it was worth it.
You know, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. It takes a human sacrifice to make a Kennedy great. Most elected officials still take the traditional route to power, by not killing anyone.
Let Us Fluff Your Pillow Award for Obsequious Obama Interviews. CBS Evening News anchor Katie Couric fretted over President Obama's self-esteem in the face of political challenges.
You're so confident, Mr. President, and so focused. Is your confidence ever shaken? Do you ever wake up and say, damn, this is hard. Damn, I'm not going to get the things done I want to get done, and it's just too politicized to really accomplish the big things I want to accomplish.
Obama later asked Couric a similar question about being the third-rated evening news anchor.
Couric added, Don't you hate Mr. Thompson's bio class?
Katie Couric has just discovered that politics is politicized.
Hey, if you're not doing anything Friday, you want to go to the sock hop?
The Obamagasm Award for seeing coolness in everything Obama does. MSNBC host David Schuster and correspondent John Harwood hailed President Obama's ability to take on one of his fiercest enemies.
He had this fly that was persistently buzzing around him during the interview. We thought it had left the room, and at one point he raised his hand to try to nail it and said, "I'm going to get this guy," and he swatted his hand and he said, "I got the sucker." He threw it onto the ground. It was a Dirty Harry make my day moment.
CNBC's John Howard, also at the New York Times, an amazing interview, not just visually but also in terms of the content. And John, great stuff as always, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
You know, Tamron, it never fails. Great weather, rainbows, incredible speeches, and three-point basket, a fly, and he nails it. Unbelievable.
John, anyone can swat a fly. Get back to me when he uses chopsticks like Mr. Miyagi did.
The fly community has officially abandoned its nuclear weapons program.
Of course, if this had happened during the Bush years, MSNBC would have run a special comment from Keith Olbermann declaring the president a war criminal.
The Barbra Streisand Political IQ Award for Celebrity Vapidity. Actor Dennis Leary could barely contain his girlish glee over Barack Obama.
I think that President Obama is the greatest president in the history of all of our presidents, and that he can do no wrong, in my book. So how's that for prejudice on the Democratic side?
What do you think of Obama's pick of Sotomayor?
Fantastic.
You love her.
Everything you asked me about President Obama, I'm just going to say is the greatest thing.
I know. Well,
I love the guy.
Just so we're clear, Dennis Leary's show Rescue Me endorsed 9/11 conspiracy theories.
Upon hearing how thrilled Leary was with Obama, Chris Matthews threatened to scratch the actor's eyes out.
But I guess since the media didn't care about the ravings of the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, they're probably not going to be too concerned about the ranting of an aging basic cable TV star.
Dennis Leary is probably the first one ever to be that excited in the presence of Joy Behar.
The Audacity of Dopes Award for Wackiest Analysis of the Year. Newsweek's Evan Thomas praised Obama, literally, for coming down from on high to heal global divisions.
We were the good guys in 1984. It felt that way. It hasn't felt that way in recent years. So Obama's had really a different task. We were seen too often as the bad guys, and he has a very different job from Reagan. Was all about America, and you talked about it. Obama is, we are above that now. We're not just parochial. We're not just chauvinistic. We're not just provincial. We stand for something. I mean, in a way, Obama's standing above the country, above the world. He's sort of God. He's going to bring all different sides together.
And then the Lord Obama said, "Let there be global brotherhood and cooperation," and there was.
Do you think when someone sneezes around Evan Thomas, he says, "Obama bless you"?
If Barack Obama's God, when will we start seeing the media take pilgrimages to Kenya?
If only Obama had the power to resurrect his approval rating.
And the axis of evil was smitten by the charisma of the mighty Barack.
So Barack Obama is God. I could be wrong, but I think God would be able to get the Olympics for Chicago.
That's it.
That breaks my heart.
Let's do some practice dips here.
They're probably not going to be
For the most successful Senate career in history. Should I start over?
He gets the new Cooper Bowl.
I'm not going to do it. I'm happy. I'm happy. I thought about it, but I said no.
In the presence of almost got it.
I dreamed a dream of time gone by.
Merry Christmas to all, except those at MSNBC.